So Solomon Lew is probably one of the best retailers in this country. His business is Premier Investments. Premier Investments owns Portman's, Dotti, it owns Smiggle, it owns Just Jeans. He's been in the game for a long time. He's a former deputy chairman of Coles Myer, was one of the biggest shareholders there.
He knows what he's doing.
He is one of the best retailers in this country. Now, he's basically come out and bought 10.77% of Myer shares. He's actually a critic of Myer. Since Myer's shares were floated at $4.10 in 2009, they're now 70 cents. $2 billion of shareholders' money has disappeared.
How much right does he have to say? How much control does he say over the future of the company?
Well, a shareholder who's the biggest shareholder, of course, has got a right to say. He went to Myer because Myer's currently got an annual meeting coming up in about a month's time, at which they're going to re-elect directors. He said, I actually will now not allow any of those new directors to be nominated. I'm going to vote against them all, he said. He's also then come out and given an open letter to the shareholders yesterday.
He has walked into, for everyone at home, he's walked into, like you do, walked into a Myer store, and this is his assessment of it.
Right, so his assessment says, I have been shocked by the clearance floors which Myer has now permanently installed in 8 locations. I've visited many of them, and they are one of the worst experiences I have had in 50 years in retail.
Wow.
Sadly, the times of Myer being a well-run business are long gone. In my view, and based on my personal experience in Money Myer stores, Myer has lost its way. He asked for 3 board seats. Myer, its incoming chairman, because the old one's going, basically said, we're not giving them to you. And the reason for that is because Myer says that Solomon Lew has a conflict of interest, because he's a big supplier to Myer as well. And he says, basically, that if you allow Solomon Lew in, you've got somebody who is not only a supplier to Myer, but also an owner of the store as well.
He also had one observation about walking onto the decks of Myer, didn't he?
He basically said over a period of time, he says, Myer has made some incredibly poor investments, most notably in Topshop and Sass & Bide, and is in the process of writing off tens of millions of dollars of shareholder funds. But what he's also said about the quality of the stores, he said it previously. He says when you walk into some of the Myer stores now, it's like walking into a Salvation Army op shop. And that, you've got to say, is a pretty savage assessment of the retailing of Myer right now.
At least that's a good cause. Gee, I tell you what, he's not
as I say,
his word.
This is top turnbuckle stuff. It is on like Donkey Kong. The final bit of it, he says, currently he has no intention of making a takeover bid for Myer. The important word there is current.
Yes.
He doesn't currently have a belief he'll make a takeover bid.
Watch that space. Tough love from the biggest